Hello and welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your host Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, guys?
Producer Rudd is doing a magic show right now. So now we got Producer Ray. Producer Ray taking the boys. So it started off with a really bad start to my tenureship with no timer moving on the goddamn stream.
It happens.
That's on me. I'm an amateur at this. But regardless, W's in the chat for Producer Rudd, who's doing a magic show right now. And what we got was a very interesting version of a show, if that's what we can call it, with Argentina defeating Chile 1-0 and Peru losing to Canada 1-0 as well. These games, bro.
I really want to know, chat, please tell me what you truly thought about this Argentina-Chile game. I need to know what the people think before we get into this, because I have either a lot to say or nothing to say at all. I want to really gauge this, honestly.
We could keep this at 5 minutes, bro, if you want to, because I left those Euros games wishing and hoping for something exciting tonight with the Copa America matches that we're slated to see. Even that Peru-Canada match, man, I was excited. I was like, let's see, man. Maybe Peru shows up. Maybe they ball out. Maybe they step up against this Canadian side, and Canada too. Maybe they ball out and do their own thing. And for the Argentina-Chile match, I was also really excited. MetLife Stadium, packed stadium, night game, Messi on the biggest stage. I thought we got some pretty mediocre matches, man. Pretty mediocre as a person that's not a fan of either of these teams.
Yeah, and for me, Eric Huerta sums up my exact thoughts on this. He says, Chile forgot how to play football.
Damn.
And that's kind of my whole take on this match, is that Chile had no offensive shape for the entire game. I think after the 70th minute, they had a good maybe 10-minute spell, if you really want to call it that. But it was also in that 10 minutes when things finally became end-to-end and Argentina got their goal off of a crazy ping-pong event in the box where finally Lautaro Martinez was able to get on the end of the ball and smash it into the back of the net. But overall, this match was super frustrating to watch because Chile just decided to defend, and when they tried to go forward, which was very few moments, it was completely cut out by Argentina's defense and defensive midfield every single time. They could not handle Argentina's pressure defensively, and this was basically all Argentina for the entire match. And this just became a brawl. It just became a very physical match where Argentina really tried to just slowly squeeze Chile as much as they could. But yeah, that's just what this game ended up being, right? For me, Argentina were the clear better team here. They deserve the win. Chile, I guess they put up a good fight, but they had no offense, man. I was very, very disappointed.
Yeah, I feel like this is the most I've ever seen Lisandro Martinez in like the past year. He was so active today. Shout out to him because he was shutting down every Chilean attack, man. Every Chilean attack. Cristian Romero as well. And Chile just didn't look to seem any ideas, any creativity going forward until that 10-minute spell we saw where they had 3 shots on target all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Right before that spell, bro, I saw a stat on the TV. 19 shots for Argentina, zero for Chile. Zero, man. And that's the frustrating part because I have a few things to say about Argentina's performance, but for Chile, I just projected them to be a lot more exciting, or at least much more daring in this tournament because they really don't have much to lose, man. And they're playing like they do. That's the frustrating part. It feels like they're trying to play this tournament very safe, and we see them get a draw against Peru, 0-0. That was the same type of format in the sense that they also made it a very grudgy, physical battle and were unable to show their offensive skills. And today was the same thing, man. Like, I don't really know what Gareca is trying to play at here, and that's the frustrating part because it was 10 minutes of good football, and that's it. Game opens up, Argentina takes over, and they finally break through and get that goal. But for Chile, I mean, now it all comes down to that final match against Canada. That's essentially the start of their tournament. Is the knockout stage starts a game early with that matchup against Canada because they have to beat them now to get into the second round. And I just don't feel really good about their chances now after these 2 performances I've seen from them.
Dude, yes, and I want to double down on that comment you made earlier about how, like, what were Chile realistically doing? Why didn't they get more daring in this match? Because I completely agree. I'd rather lose like Canada did. Go all out, try to score against Argentina, lose 2-3, maybe even 4-0, but hey, maybe at least entertain a little bit. But I think Gareca and all of Chile just decided, hey, let's get prideful here and let's try to just make it 0-0. I hate that type of football personally, and I think that's what we saw today, because Chile, I think, only had one plan in mind, that was just to get a draw.
What's the difference though between this and Costa Rica's performance yesterday? What's the difference?
I think the difference is that Costa Rica know they don't have any weapons going forward, right? Whereas when you look at Chile, we highlighted some players. Gabriel Suazo, Vitor Davila. You still have an interesting Alexis Sanchez, who maybe isn't as forward going, but he's still really good off the pass. And then you still have Eduardo Vargas. I was expecting to see Ben Brereton way earlier in this match, because I thought he had a really good impact in that first game, but we didn't get him till the 90th minute. So for me, all of the players that should have shown out today for Chile simply did not. And then also Dario Osorio, he got the start today, but virtually did nothing.
Yeah, no, they do have weapons, bro. That's the difference between them and Costa Rica. They have weapons up front. Costa Rica has nothing, bro.
They have nothing.
Nothing, man. And it's interesting, too, because we flip the conversation over to Argentina. In my eyes, I don't think they've been that convincing in 2 straight games now, man.
I agree.
What's going on? Because Mateo Pegasus asks, Argentina got nothing right now on Germany's side of the bracket. This could be a preview of Argentina's decline. They can't do anything without Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, bro.
Maybe that Disney money?
I guess, dude. Andy Q Hood, bro, says Argentina versus Chile was not the best. Mexico wins 2-0 tomorrow. Ecuador, I don't have confidence. I rate Jimmy Lozano more than Berhalter and Felix Sanchez, to be honest, bros. That was a tough super chat to read, but shout out my boy. I agree, though. Argentina versus Chile was not the best game as a neutral. And for Argentina, I want to know, chat, where do you guys stand on this Argentine side? Because, yes, they're getting the results, and we have to give them credit there, and their defense continues to be very good, disallowing and not allowing a single goal in 2 matches now. It keeps them in these games, but offensively, it's similar to what we're seeing from England, similar to what we're seeing from France. It's similar to what we're seeing to basically all the big teams in these tournaments outside of Germany and Spain. They just can't seem to get into rhythm the way that we would expect them to, man.
Dude, I was going to say the exact same thing. Argentina's performances at these 2 games so far reminds me a lot of England. Their defense is elite. It's going to take a very good offense to beat Argentina. It's why Argentina will go very far in this tournament. But offensively, this team looks so out of sync. There's no fluidity. There's no chemistry. I'll even say it. Messi, low-key, looks pretty off. He looked really off in that first game. He's looked very off in this second game as well. So if the GOAT's not ticking, the rest of the team I don't think is going to really get going either. But just for me, and I said it about England, and I'll say the same thing about Argentina, they look so individualistic. Basically, they just get it to a certain point up the pitch, and then for some reason, they try to take on 3 players. And I don't really understand it. And I know Chile made it very tight. I get that. But the best way to beat a compact defense is you just have to pass the ball around, make them chase it, and by the 60th, 70th minute, they will tire out. But the way to play into a defense like that is exactly what Argentina did today, is you try to dribble through it. And I saw way too many dribble drives when it simply was not the move to be made. Even McAllister, who's normally a really creative passer, is just trying to dribble through everybody. And it gets really blatant for me when I see Rodrigo de Paul try to take on an attacking midfield role. It makes no sense. The reason why Argentina were so good in the World Cup is because De Paul was simply a box-to-box midfielder. The roles were played perfectly. Enzo Fernandez was simply a passer in the midfield. But now, suddenly, everyone just gets on the ball and they try to just go. It makes no sense. Honestly, it's a little lazy for Argentina.
Is that on Scaloni? Who's it on, bro? Because it doesn't seem like they're all on the same page.
Yeah, they don't look on the same page.
I don't know what's going on, man. Let's look at some of these chats. What we're seeing. Nico Sniper says, this Copa, they're playing football, not football. You could say they're lacking the flavor.
Something's
the flavor that we saw from Argentina, the flow, man, the way they balled out against France in that first half. We have not seen that, man. We haven't, but they've been good enough to still get the result. Jay Patel asked a good question here that I want to talk about. I'll do a poll for it too. Lautaro Martinez over Julian in the next match? That's 2 straight games where he scores off the bench.
Yeah, I would try it. And I've always loved the competition between Martinez and Alvarez. I think it's one of the most intriguing in all of international football because they're both so good at club level. But Alvarez have had the better streak at international level, but Martinez is getting the goals, so he deserves to start in the next match.
Dude, MVP of Serie A, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord. I think he definitely has earned it. Julian was better in the World Cup, but lately he has been a little bit off. And he scored last game, but it was more of a poacher's goal, if you will, with how he was there to score once Alexis McAllister got that nice touch on the ball. Lautaro has come in and been very important for this Argentine side. I actually think he deserves a start. It looks like the chat agrees with Lautaro at 77%, Julian Alvarez at 22%. DePaul thinks he is him, says Anthony. I agree, man. DePaul's performance has been very interesting.
It's been crazy. His role has completely changed.
Captain Crunch Guy says Claudio Bravo is a free agent. Someone sign him. But we have been seeing good goalkeeping performances.
Yeah, he had some massive saves today, and especially at the end when it could have been 2-0, he makes a massive save once again. It's pretty crazy considering he's 41, but Bravo looks good.
This is interesting, too, from Argentina's point of view. They haven't given Palacios or Garnacho a chance. Garnacho's an interesting one, man.
Yeah.
I oftentimes forget that he's even here.
I know.
But I would love to see what Garnacho can cook up on the wing for this Argentine side.
Yeah, honestly,
just
same.
A few minutes,
and
man.
I think this game would have really helped if Garnacho had come on. Just pure pace, pure drive. Garnacho would have definitely helped on the wings. We saw Nico Gonzalez get the start today. I think that was also a positive move over Di Maria. And Gonzalez ended up rattling the post at one point. So I thought he had some good moves as well. But just overall, no matter who's playing in that offensive line, there's just a lack of fluidity right now for Argentina.
I agree. Ezra M says, I have Chile going through over Canada after today. You guys agree? Also, which team looks most convincing for you in this whole tournament? The Chile-Canada factor is so interesting, bro, because for how negative we speak about Chile, I low-key think we can say the same about Canada, bro.
You can say the same thing.
We can say the same thing. We'll talk about that game in a minute. I still want to stick to the Argentina-Chile conversation, but I don't know if I agree fully. I do think they... It's tough. It's tough.
Honestly, to answer the question just outright, I will say it's 50-50. I could see Canada winning, I could see Chile winning by a goal, or I could see a draw. So whatever ends up happening, obviously a draw would get Canada in. So if I had to put my money on it, I say Canada go through because of that, because they can fight for a draw, whereas Chile have to go for an outright win.
That's a big advantage.
It's a huge advantage.
That's a big advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Can Chile score a goal?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Against Canada's defense, I would say yes. But Canada's offense, I think, can also get a goal if Chile expose themselves.
Yeah. Crepeau's been balling out, too. He's been great.
Yeah.
Great between the sticks. He had a great game against Argentina. Great game against Peru today. Chat has Canada going through at 68%. Chile at 32%. That's going to be the most interesting match remaining in this group is that matchup because, like I mentioned, it's essentially a knockout game with Canada having the advantage. And also, which team looks most convincing for you in this whole tournament so far?
USA, baby.
Costa Rica, bro. Costa Rica, man. Most convincing.
I mean, honestly, I would say either a team from Group B or C. Well, we haven't seen enough of Ecuador because they got the red card. I need to see Ecuador again. Venezuela have looked good, but also they play against 10 men. USA look good. Uruguay look good. And I need to see Colombia a little bit more too.
Colombia
look good, yeah.
Anthony Diaz says, what did you guys think about the conditions of the field today? Do you think they fixed this issue around for the World Cup?
This is going to be an interesting point because obviously at the World Cup, they're going to do these weird field modifications to each stadium where it actually meets FIFA's regulations. Because right now, everything's truncated, right? The width is smaller, the length is smaller. Even at the Sporting Kansas City game where Peru and Canada played, they made the field smaller to make it similar to the NFL field. So I think all the fields are going to be janky this tournament. It's just kind of like a state of reality here. Every team has to adapt. I think that's the only good thing is that it's equal playing field. It sucks, but by the World Cup, I do expect it to be way better,
bro.
Way better.
What has been the best field so far? I think SoFi and NRG have looked really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think those two have looked really good.
Yeah.
Abraham says, could USA beat this Argentina on how they played? I still say no, but they're definitely not as strong as they looked before the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I still, even after these performances, I still have Argentina winning this whole thing.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're elite. They haven't really let much happen to them. And then offensively, there's just too many weapons that they have. Even though they're not firing on all cylinders right now, I think Argentina are still the best team at this tournament.
Yeah. Guys, final thoughts on this Argentina team. Let me know. Do you still see them as favorites? I'm curious about that because it looks like we're both settling in on that still. I still think Argentina can reach a very high level in this tournament that other teams can't. But they got to pick it up soon, man. And we probably won't see that until the quarterfinal because this third game, they're through with the victory. They're through. They've advanced. And I just don't see them really balling out in that third game. We'll have to wait till the quarterfinal when they get, either Venezuela, Mexico, or Ecuador perhaps. We'll have to see who they get. It looks like folks are saying Colombia will win it. Uruguay will win it, says Joaquin. I see Colombia as favorites, says Sergio. Argentina playing like Real Madrid. There's still no favorites to me, says Chris Vergara. No one can play up to their level when they are on their game. That's what I'm saying.
I completely agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And although they haven't looked that convincing, their lowest point right now isn't as low as like Brazil's.
Right.
There's still a big difference there, man. There still is.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, bar 5 to 10 minutes in this match, they dominated Chile. I mean, completely dominated them. So, yes, they weren't able to create a lot of goal-scoring opportunities, but Chile did virtually nothing for large portions in this match.
Mm-hmm. Is there what's going on with knockout football? Like these tournaments, man. I'm kind of thrown off by how many big teams we're seeing.
I know.
Not play the way that we expect them to. Does that happen often? And I just don't notice it. Like Spain and Germany are the only two teams that are playing up to their expectations in both the Euros and Copa America, in my opinion.
Well, what I love about international football is that I think narratives come into play more so than they do in club football, right?
Yeah.
Because when you look at Spain, they've gone through a whole journey since their golden generation. Now they have these young footballers all of a sudden popping off with Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. And then you look at Germany, I mean, since winning it in 2014, they've had a dark time, bro. Not getting out of group stages and World Cups, low-key pathetic. And then all of a sudden you have the rise of Bayer Leverkusen and then Bayern Munich having these weird struggles. You bring it all together, Toni Kroos of Real Madrid. It's a really cool narrative and they're hosting the tournament. And I think when you look at the Copa America now, I've already talked about the narrative that the USA have. It's why I think that they are genuine title favorites. The USA low-key has one of the biggest narratives at this tournament to fulfill. And then you look at a team like Colombia, it's kind of similar. Like Colombia since 2014, low-key has been very poor. They couldn't score a goal in the last World Cup cycle, but all of a sudden, now they have these good players playing really good team football. That's why I think they have something to prove. Same thing can be said about Uruguay. So I think narratives come into play a lot more in international football. Argentina have already won everything, right? So I think that's low-key why maybe they're not as driven.
Okay, I can see that. Guys, let's rate this Argentina performance on a grade scale. A+, B-, C+, F. Where do you grade this Argentina performance? That's the final question for this matchup before we move on. Grade this performance. I'm seeing a C from JC Flores. I'm seeing a B from Raw Material. Another B from Liam Bystrom. Captain Crunch Guy says B+, B-, B+. Yeah, I think it's in the B's.
Yeah, B+. Give me a B+ here. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game of the day. Peru facing off against Canada.
God damn it.
A game that sees Canada win 1-0. But by the end of it, you were like, bro, I'm considering this a 0-0 result.
I wish this ended 0-0 simply because Peru, in my opinion, got a really unlucky red card. I mean, you look at the playback, sure, there was very vicious contact on the Canadian player's ankle, but there was full contact on the ball. It's just happenstance. It's a follow-through. You can't give a red card for a follow-through, in my opinion. That's my take on football. I like it a little bit more aggressive. Sure, you can disagree with me, but for me, yellow card at most.
Yeah, and that call decided the game because after that, it was, an entire half? It was in the first half when it happened, right?
No,
or was it early in the second?
It was early in the second.
Yeah,
so it was like 30 full minutes up a man. Of course, Canada were eventually going to get a goal, especially when you have players like David and Davies. So it makes sense that this ends 1-0 to Canada, but I think if Peru keep 11 men out there, this game ends 0-0.
0-0, man, because Canada, even when they were up a man, until that Jonathan David goal, dude, that was a atrocious offensive performance. It took Schaffelberg being completely wide open on the wing and feeding Jonathan David to then get a goal on a one-on-one opportunity. But I was not convinced with what I saw from Canada today either, dude. I thought that was a miserable performance, and that's the thing that really concerned me about this team going forward was how do they cope against a team even like Peru who can be really feisty. Maybe they can't play incredible attacking football, and it's one of the weaker Conmebol sides, but how do they play against a style of football like that.
Yeah.
And I think today we got our answer, bro. They struggled, man. They struggled. And I agree. If they don't get that man up advantage, they end up tying this game 0-0. But at the end, they do get the advantage. They do get the goal, and they win the game to get 3 points in this group. 3 crucial points now to give them the advantage going into that Chile match where they only have to get a draw to qualify through. So for Peru, it's a tough way at the end of the day to basically go out of this tournament because you end up tying Chile. You end up falling them down a man in this game, and that's it. That's your Copa America because it's going to be tough to get a result against Argentina in the next game.
Yeah, I will say Peru in their 2 matches at this Copa have had an incredible knack of making it very difficult for their opponents, truly. I mean, they really stopped Chile from playing their fluid football. And then obviously, as we already said today, they stopped Canada from playing any sort of good offensive football. So I will give Peru credit for being fully committed defensively, because every time there was an opportunity to put a body on a Canadian, they took it fully, man. I mean, this was a very physical match. All credit to Peru because I think that's the only way Peru can win. Make this a brawl and then try to go back on the other end. I mean, they almost got a goal. If Piero Quispe had a better shot, they would have gone up in the first half 1-0. La Padula got a goal, but it was eventually called offside, which was the correct decision. So I think Peru played their game plan perfectly, truly. I really do think they did. And so I'll give them credit there. For Canada, though, yeah, I want to be a little bit more critical because they showed good offensive prowess against Argentina, but that just was not present today.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know how many of you actually watched this game? Because obviously, I think only 2 types of people watch this game: the die-hard football fanatics and podcasters that are covering this tournament, bro. Because this game was a rough watch, man. It was a rough watch. And unless you're a Peruvian or Canadian, I'm curious if you watched this game. 69% in the chat saying yes. 33% saying no. Anthony says, I fell asleep. Robert says, I feel bad for Peru. They played well until the red card, and they're very unlucky the ball does not want to go into the net. Crepeau?
It's unlucky.
Crepeau has a good save.
It's unlucky.
FIFA Rigged says, the quality of players has lowered. I think he's talking about Peru. Lots of good players, but barely any elite players left or produced. That's the scary part for Peru, bro, is what is their future looking like? Because I'm not seeing many people come through the ranks that are going to end up taking on, you know, the job of Yoshimar Yotun, Luis Advíncula, Paulo Guerrero. I'm not seeing that future talent. Whereas even with Chile, despite that performance we saw today, I still see some young names. I still see some promise, some light at the end of the tunnel. For Peru, man, I think it's really rough. I think it's really rough looking into like the next 5 years.
It's so rough, but they make up for it by being very defensive. I gotta give them credit there. But another aspect a lot of people are saying in the chat here is, you know, it was 100 degrees out there,
bro.
Right? So maybe that is a reason as to why Canada weren't as motivated to go forward. Maybe why Peru couldn't, you know, maybe do a little bit better as well. I do think, 100 degrees, bro.
Bro, have you been to Kansas City?
That's crazy.
Bro, that city makes you takes the life out of you, man.
Bro.
Kansas City? No, full disrespect, too.
hey, chill. Hey.
Kansas City, one of my least favorite cities in the U.S., man. One of my least favorite cities. If we have any people from Kansas City, I want to see you in the chat right now, man, because... yeah, I mean, tough place to host a match. And 100-degree weather, bro, people are going to struggle, especially that early in the day, man, when the sun's hitting hard.
Yeah, and it gets me a little worried about when the World Cup happens. We can't have a kickoff at 5 p.m. We can't because summers across the entire country, the U.S., it's hot, man. It's really hot. And the only way to alleviate that is to play it once the sun goes down. So I'm hoping we get 7 o'clock kickoffs at the earliest once the World Cup comes around, because 5 p.m., man, we're going to get a lot more of these games of the World Cup if this keeps happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is going to be one of the more depressing daily awards we've ever done. Goal of the day, there's 2 goals, bro. 2 goals today, and we had a Jonathan David goal and then a wonky corner kick goal.
Give me David's goal just because it ultimately was a good finish right off the post where the keeper just could not reach it. Gallese had a good match too, so give me David's goal.
Easy pick. Performance of the day. I'm going to go with one of Argentina's defenders, Guti Romero or Lisandro Martinez. I'm going to actually vote for Lisandro Martinez. I thought he had a great game today.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Just quick shout out, my favorite Canadian, Schaffelberg. Just want to give a quick shout out to my boy. Got an assist today. He is my favorite Canadian player, my boy Schaffelberg.
If they pull off something crazy and they go into like the semifinals, you should buy a wig of his hair.
I'd love to
and
do
wear
that.
it on the pod.
I would love to do that.
Because his hair is nuts. Man.
I've been a huge Schaffelberg fan ever since he hit the scene at the Gold Cup a year ago, literally almost probably to the date when he got that crazy solo goal. So shout out to my boy Schaffelberg.
Yep, Bravo getting some shouts. He had a great, bro. I can't believe like he's still in between the sticks at 40 years old and still playing really good. I thought he had a great performance on a big stage with the whole stadium going against you and making a crucial save on that Nico Gonzalez shot. Claudio Bravo, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
At his peak, one of the best goalkeepers we've seen come out of South America, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Game of the day. What ends up being the game of the day with both of these teams being pretty tough games to watch? I'm going to go Argentina, Chile.
Yeah.
Just because the stage was better.
Yeah.
More fans in attendance and Messi was playing. Although I didn't enjoy it the most, I think it's definitely the best game out of these two.
Yeah, absolutely. Argentina actually tried to go at Chile, and they did so several times. There was a lot of shots on target for Argentina. I think for me, that just does it. That's the game of the match. Canada just didn't do enough ultimately against Peru.
I think tomorrow's going to be much more entertaining. Mexico in action. So let's do some match previews for tomorrow because it starts off with Group B action with Ecuador facing off against Jamaica. Can you preview this matchup and then also give me a prediction while I set up the poll for this one? Ecuador versus Jamaica.
Ecuador against Jamaica. Well, we didn't get to see Ecuador in that first match because they were down a man after 20 minutes. This is the start of their Copa. Now, unfortunately, they have a huge handicap because they have 0 points after one game played. We have to see Ecuador come out fully against Jamaica. Jamaica had a good game against Mexico. Do not get me wrong. And honestly, maybe they deserved a draw, but Arteaga decided to score a banger and Jamaica ended up losing that match. But if you look at what's on paper, this has to be a win for Ecuador, especially since they got off to the wrong foot in this Copa. So give me an Ecuador win against Jamaica.
I'll give you $5 if you can guess where it's at. Legit, I'll Venmo you $5 if you can guess what stadium or even city. What city they're playing in?
Arizona.
No, bro. No. Las Vegas.
Vegas?
Okay. Allegiant Stadium.
Hey, that'll be fun. I was close.
You were close. Ecuador predicted to win this game at 73%. Jamaica at 20%. But I'm seeing shouts for maybe potentially having a really good match here. We could see a really good match here because both teams need 3 points now.
Yes. Yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Chris Vergara saying this might be a banger, I mean, I would love to see it, man. I really would. To be entertaining right off the bat with Ecuadorian football. The pressure's on them now, though, man. The pressure's on them now. People, including us, predicted they would finish in first place in this group. They have to defeat Jamaica. And I just don't know what version of Jamaica we're going to get today or tomorrow either.
Right.
Next match is a fun one. It is a fun one with the winner of this game advancing to the next round. Both teams being teams that were projected to potentially finish in second. I don't think many people had Venezuela or Mexico topping this group. They now have a golden opportunity here against each other to take the lead, get the result, and move on to the quarterfinals without having to worry about that third match. It's between Venezuela and my beautiful Mexico. Santi Jimenez, I need the most from you, Ryan. I need a beautiful performance, my friend.
Come on now.
It's a big game.
Yeah,
it's a big game, man. It's a big game. Why don't you preview it for us?
Honestly, I see this game as 50-50. I think Mexico have showed up decently at this tournament. They gave everything against Jamaica, and they did look like the better side. Jamaica gave them a little bit of scare. Now, here's the problem.
What's the problem?
Venezuela will give more than Jamaica, right? And I thought Jamaica gave enough against Mexico to make it very concerning. A little bit better finishing from Jamaica, and I do think this game does not end in Mexican victory. So if you consider Venezuela to actually finish their chances and create more, I don't know if I see Mexico winning this. I think the best that Mexico can do against this very good Venezuela team is a draw. Now, the thing is, I think a draw is definitely on the cards. Just don't let this get out of hand for Mexico. That's all I can say, because Venezuela have come to this tournament to play. They've come to play.
Dude, I mean, after that first game, they got all the momentum they needed. Like I mentioned, I can't get over this stat. Their first comeback victory in Copa America history. This Venezuela team is different. So definitely do not want to underestimate them. But this is a big moment. It's a big moment for Venezuelan football. Can they defeat a team that is essentially hosting this match in a must-win game, or a game that at least benefits them a lot if they get the result? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they don't. I just think the stage is way too big for these players. The pressure will get them. The crowd is going to be insane, bro. It's going to be insane. And, you know, Rondon, maybe this time I jumped on the wash narrative. 36 years old. He ain't got it, man. Maybe that midfield just isn't as creative as I expected.
That's where Soltero comes in. That's where Savarino comes in. That's where Herrera comes in.
Man.
You see what I'm saying?
You can throw these names at me, bro. You really can. But under the bright lights, do they shrink or do they shine? I want to see. I am worried, though. No Edson fully for this match.
It's going to be interesting.
We got to commit to probably Romo in the midfield, man. Yeah. Romo in that midfield. And can we really get an important result? You know, last time we kind of got lucky with Arteaga getting that banger. Can we really step up and rely on Romo for a second consecutive game? That's a big task. That's a big task. But I think they'll pull it off, man. I think Mexico...
A win?
I think they won't lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fair. I can see Mexico getting a draw. I can see it.
I don't think they'll lose.
I don't think they can win,
I don't think they'll get smacked. But I'm cool. I'm cool if we get a draw. And I'm hoping for a victory here. And more than anything, I need to see Santi do something. I need Santi to do something. I'm looking straight at him. It's time for him to step up, man. Willie Kuh says Santi is scoring another goal in the 80th minute, like in the Gold Cup final for the win. Oh, I mean, we're talking storybook. The chat has Mexico winning at 55%, Venezuela at 30%, a draw at 16%.
Okay.
I actually can agree. I can agree with those odds.
I can mess with that.
And we got a couple of super chats here. Maria de Santiago says Ecuador will take the win and Mexico will draw versus Venezuela. That's also in the cards.
I see a draw. I see a draw on the cards.
Andy Q Hoodbro says, I think Argentina versus Mexico at MetLife July 9th. Is that like a semifinal? That would have to be the semi. Yeah. That would have to be the semifinal, no?
That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts, man.
Come on, bro. Andy Q Hoodbro says 2-0 Mexico win. I believe in Lambo Jimmy. Antuna Hattie. Y'all are tripping, bro. What's going on with the chat, man? I'm optimistic about this Mexico side, but Antuna getting a hat trick, bro? Bet money on that. Bet $10 on that. I bet the payout is a fucking house.
It's like 100x.
There has to be. Antuna getting a hat trick, bro? That'd be ridiculous. Yeah. No quarterfinals. Soltero, can Iraq be favorites in the Copa America? I've been seeing this comment for the past hour. Let's just answer it. He's been working hard for this.
Favorites, no. Dark horses, yes.
There you go. We'll keep that talk short right there. Santi is going to come through, says Ricky G. Santi 2 goals, says Gabriel Rodriguez. I mean, everyone wants to believe in Santi Jimenez. Everybody, including myself, but I just don't know, man. I need to see it. I need to see it eventually. Ant-Man Prod says Venezuela versus Mexico should be a good game, considering it's the most even game we've seen with actual quality in it.
Yeah.
And it's at SoFi.
There we go.
I didn't know that.
Come on, baby.
Oh, bro, that's going to be a great atmosphere. Atmosphere has been missed so far. 2-2 result. That'd be a great game.
I'm with you, dude.
Great game.
Great comment, Ant-Man Prods.
Romo Masterclass. I mean, what we're asking for here is crazy, man.
Romo Masterclass.
Romo Masterclass is
Last
crazy.
time I saw that, I think, was when he was with Querétaro 40 years ago. Shit.
Santi with a potential legacy game tomorrow at SoFi where he scored the winner last year, says Chris Vergara. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Like, this is there in the cards for him. He can do it if he wants. It's a big moment. Time to step up. And at the end of the day, it's Venezuela. Like, I'm not asking him to do it against Argentina, bro. I'm not asking much here.
Well, that's why I think there is a draw on the cards, because Venezuela are very good, but they're also very prone to mistakes. It's there. I'm just saying Mexico have to be in it, though. If Mexico aren't locked in, Venezuela gets the win.
I agree with that. No, yeah. If we're our shaky selves, we're not winning tomorrow. Yeah. We don't win against anybody. Christopher Molina says, wish Chicharito could play with Santi a 4-2-2.
Maybe 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
I would love to see a 4-4-2. Just put Quiñones and Santi up top and have them combine with midfielders. And maybe not start Cortizo, but just bring them on at a certain point just to get him touching the ball. I just think with more fluid midfielders, Mexico would have more joy. Because, I mean, we saw Orbelin in the first game against Jamaica. He was horrendous, man. Yeah. If you want a player to play that role, try Cortizo. Because if you want to combine midfield to offense, you need somebody to do it. Pineda had a bad game, maybe try Cortizo. All I'm saying.
All I know is the stream tomorrow after that game, if it's dramatic, is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So, guys, join us for our post-Mexico-Venezuela live stream and Ecuador-Jamaica coverage after the Mexico game, we'll be right here in the same spot that you found us today to talk about these matches.
Yes,
I cannot wait to see what happens, and either you'll see a happy Reynoso or a sad Reynoso. We'll see. We'll see, bro. We'll see. Guys, I'm going to try to end this stream. I'm not fully sure how because I'm not producer Rudd. It's producer Ray right now. We'll see if I know how. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Give us a thumbs up on your way out. And join us tomorrow for our Euros coverage as well as we cover the last remaining games of the Euros group stage matches. Till next time, guys.
Peace.
Peace.